welcome to this video on library module in IFW Campus ERP 2.0. During this video, you will have a look and feel about the product. In the module listed at the left, there is a module library which is divided into three parts: masters, forms and reports. Let's have a look at the master section first. It contains the form libraries, which is used to define all the existing libraries in your institute. You may have a single or multiple libraries. Here we have defined 3 libraries in one institute. All these details are to be defined while defining your library. The name of the library, its location, the institutes who have the access to this library. There are several settings that whether you allow issuing the books which are basically not for issue, or you are allowing the books to be issued from library as well as book bank. You are managing the accounting of your library, you are counting or not counting the holidays, whether your library is active or inactive. Remember, only the active libraries will be seen further for the transactions. If you are managing the accounting, then you have to mention the company through which your accounting will be handled and how your fines from the library will be taken. Whether they will be taken instantly or you will be allowing your students to deposit the fine later on also. Or you have more options of taking the fine. You can take the fine from accounts module or from the fees module. The fines from the library will be reflected in the respective modules as per the selection. All the employees who have the access to this library will be listed here. You have to select the employee and give them the rights of the library as well as the rights of waiving of the fine. You can choose any library as a default library for any particular employee. Similarly, you have to define these libraries. Moving further, the author's form is used to define the authors. You have to simply give one author name and click on save. If you want to add any new author, click on add new, give the author name and click on save. Your records will be saved here and listed in the listing section. You can generate the reports using Export and Export Plus. Next is book categories. Book categories are defined to categorize your books into various sections. Like here we have accountancy or any other art and craft, atlas, biographies. So you can define the categories. Click on add new, give a category name. You can also select any parent category if you want to, otherwise leave it blank and click on save. This is how you will be defining your book categories. Under these categories, the books will be entered so that it simplifies the searching of books. Publishers. This form allows you to mention the publisher details. You have to give one publisher name, the publisher code, contact person, contact number, address, email and web details, and click on save. Next we come upon to the library items. Using this form, you will be entering all your library items, whether it may be books, reference books, atlases, journals, anything. This search panel is used to search the books from the library. You can use the accession number if you remember, or you can use the title, you can use the subtitles, item types, items whether they are in library or in book bank, item categories, item status, whether they are for issue, not for issue, any damaged book or any lost book from the library. You can use these various options. Click on search. You will be getting the respective records according to the filters entered by you in the search criteria. It contains the 23 books according to the search criteria mentioned above. You can use the Export and Export Plus to generate the reports. As we have seen in the earlier forms that Export and Export Plus are used to generate the reports. Here we will see how these reports are generated. Export gives you the reports in HTML, PDF, Excel and CSV. We will be having a print and let's see how the records look like. Export has generated a report as it was listed in the listing section with all the fields mentioned there. Export Plus is the advanced version of Export. Here, all the fields are listed in this column. You can choose the field which you desire in the report and in the order in which you like. So we have selected here several fields. We can choose these options like serial number. We can sort our data using all these fields. We can group our data, for example, like we have grouped our data using title. We can set the column alignments, orientations, paper size, margins, etc. and export the records in the desired formats. All these formats are available here. We will be taking a print. This is how the data looks like. Here the data is grouped using the item name. Let's take the same data in other format. Here we will be grouping the data by item status. This is how this report has been generated in another format. The same report has been generated in another format. The data has been grouped by item status. This data is grouped by item name and this by item status. So you can see how we can use this group by and sort by fields, all these dynamic features given here to change the formatting of our reports. A few predefined reports are given here in the Report Plus. You can generate the title-wise report, author-wise report, publisher-wise report, subject-wise report, vendor-wise and bill-wise reports. Let's see one of the reports, how these are generated. We are taking a title-wise report. When you double-click on this report format, it gets opened up with all the fields listed here in this column. Select the fields according to your requirement and in the order you require. You can use these options, grouping options, sorting options, serial numbers, descending or ascending orders, orientations, paper size, alignment, margins and all. Click on export and click on print. This is how this title-wise report has been generated. With all the fields that we selected, it shows that this is the title, item type, author, all the details and at last the number of copies available in the library. Similarly, you can generate the author, publisher, subject, vendor and bill-wise reports. Next comes the library groups. Here you have to create the library groups and the membership will be given to the students, to the employees or any outsider to these groups further. You have to select the library, give a group name and code. There are certain settings that have to be defined, like the maximum books that will be issued by the library and for how many days. Maximum books issued from the book bank and for how many days. Similarly, reservations, journals, reissue limit. You have to define the reissue limit. If there is any, then you have to define whether this group is for students, for employees or any other outsider. Here we have defined this group for students. There are several other options, like you can set the overall limit for issuing the books. You can allow the librarian to increase this limit, the last date for the book bank, when all the books from the book bank will be submitted in the library. This will be a collective last date. And click on save. All these settings will be saved. Similarly, we have defined another group for employee. If you are taking any kind of fine on the late submissions, you can define your fine settings using this form, library fines. Here we have defined simply that if anybody fails to submit the book in time, they have to pay ₹10 daily after the submission date passes on. If the book is lost, you have to pay this much amount. You can also customize your fines. You can set a total fine limit or you can set a customized details of fine, like if the submission date or the last date of submission passes on, then from day 1 to day let's say 10. Student or employee has to give 10 rupees per day. Next, from day 11 to day 20, the user has to give 20 rupees per day. And so on. You can define it further and click on save to save your records. Library subscriptions. Here you will be entering all the details of your subscriptions, whether they are journals, magazines, newspapers, etc. You will be defining all the details here. You have to define the type, whether you are giving the details of journal or newspaper. Give the name, subject, start date when it has been started for the institute. The expiry date can also be defined here, whether it will be issued to the students or employees or not, the number of copies that you are, language, locality, etc. All details have to be defined here. The cost, and click on save. Here we have seen one record of journal. Now let's see a record of newspaper. You can search the details from here. Click on search. If you want to add any new detail, click on add new. A blank form will open up and you have to fill all these details. Like here we have entered the detail of a newspaper, the name, start and expiry date is mentioned, issue or not for issue is also mentioned here. Select the status, number of copies that are coming in the institute, the language, locality, the periodicity. Periodicity, it means whether this newspaper is coming daily, weekly, bi-weekly and so on. The subscription type, other details, what is the order number, order date, billing details, ISSN, and the cost of the newspaper. You can also use this option. The cost can be same for the week, or else you can define the separate costs for weekdays. Here we have kept it same for all the weeks. Your subscription should be active and click on save. If you drop any subscription due to any reason, simply make it inactive and click on save. Library student projects. This form is used to keep a record of the projects submitted by the students. Here we will be having a look at how the details are saved on this form. Select the library and the subscription type. You have to give the details here, the accession number, the project title and the status, whether this project will be issued to other students for reference or not, the subject on which the project has been made, the category, the type of material which has been submitted, the year for which it has been submitted, the keywords that will be used to search this, and the employee who guided this project, and for whom this project will be allowed to be issued. So this is how you will be keeping the record of the student projects that are submitted in the library for further reference. Here also you have the buttons export and export plus, using which you can generate the reports. Let's take a print and see how the report looks like. This is the generated report format. Same as on the other forms, export plus will give you the desired fields in the report and in the order that you select. So this is how the report has been generated. Next comes library transfer. This form is used to transfer the library items from one library to another library. Select the details here, the item type. You can use these options to search the book. You can search the book by the title. You can search the book by the author. Let's say here we are selecting one author and click on search. All the books of this author which are there in this library will be listed here. Or you can search the book by giving the title and click on search. So you can use these multiple fields given here and click on search. All the books have listed here according to the title given. Just select the book that you want to transfer to another library. Once you have selected all the books that you want to transfer, Below that, select another library to which these books will be transferred. So, the selected books will be transferred from this library to this library and click on Transfer. Your books will be transferred. Now we move on to the form section of this module. Here comes the library members. Membership will be given to the students, employees or any other outsider to whom you allow for your library, to the groups which were created in the master section. We will be selecting the library, the group, whether you are giving the membership to students or staff, the member type and the status. Here you can search the assigned members and non-assigned members. If you select the assigned and click on search, all the members assigned to this group will be listed here like this. And if you want to give the new membership, click on not assigned and click on search. So all the members who have not yet been given the membership will be listed here. You can select and give them the membership by clicking on save. Only the library members are allowed to make any transactions, issue and return of books from the library. Next is library verification. Here the verification can be done in phases like phase 1, phase 2. You have to give the attempt name here. In phase 1, we have already verified 10 books. So the details will be given here, that what are the details, how many books are there, how many are verified, how many are still remaining, and overall verified books count will be shown here. So how this verification is done, you can do the verification by category or by books, accession numbers, etc. Here we are going by category. Let's say we have taken the category. In this category there are 73 books. Out of them 10 are verified and 63 are remaining. So how you will be verifying the remaining books? Simply put the accession number here. If you have a barcode scanner with you, you can scan it and click on enter. So this book will be verified. Now the count of verified books raises to 11 and remaining books goes down to 62. Similarly, you have to verify other books. When your phase 1 gets over, you can start a new verification process by giving another name. For example, phase 2. Next are library visitors. Library visitors are those who are visiting the library for any purpose, one or the other. You have to select the date on which the member visited the library, select the library, member type, put the member code here and click on enter. The details of the member will be shown here. You can put the in time and out time for the member, put the accession number and the purpose, whether the student came for reading, transaction, issue or return of the book or any other purpose. You can also give a remark and click on submit. So this is how you have entered the visitor's detail in this form. This form simply keeps a track record of the visitors who visited the library in the whole day. You can generate the reports using export and export plus as we have seen on the previous forms. Next is library exit point. It is basically a checkpoint while any member moves out of the library. If he or she is carrying any book, you can keep a check whether the book is actually issued to the member, whether the member is allowed to take this book or not. For example, put one accession number here and click on enter. So this book is allowed to this particular student or the member. Similarly, if you put another accession number, let's say, and click on enter. So this book is not allowed because this book is not issued. So the person who is carrying this book should not be allowed to move out of the library with that book. So this is how you can put a checkpoint at the exit of the library. Next, we come upon to the main form of this module, that is library transactions. The library name will be shown here. You can also change the library if you want to. You can search the items You can search the members using the fields given here by the name of the member, by the group of the member, or by the scholar number. If you are searching any employee or staff member, you will be getting the employee name and the group so that you can search the employee. Here you will be doing the transactions. Let's say we are putting one accession number and click on enter. The book details will be shown to you here. Using this button item detail, you can check the detailed information about this book. Next, put the member code and click on enter. The member details will be shown to you here. Then you can issue any book, you can receive any book, you can reissue the book if it is already issued. You can cancel the transaction, you can generate a gate pass. If the book has been lost by this particular member, just mark it as lost. If you want to take the fine, you can take the fine. All these buttons are given here. You can check the member history. So we are issuing this book using this button issue. The book has been issued to this particular student. Now, if the student comes to submit the book, how you will take the book? Either put the accession number again or the member code, whichever is easy for you. All the details will be shown here. You will be having the details of transactions, that one book has been issued to the particular student or any other member. If there is any fine amount, it will be reflecting here. The old due will be reflecting here. Simply select the book from here and click on receive. This is how you can issue the books and take the return from the member. Same process goes with book bank. If you want to issue or return any book from the book bank, put the accession number here, click on enter, put the member code, click on enter. The member details and the book details will be shown here on the form. Simply click on issue to issue the book. Next is book reservation. The members, whether the student or the staff member, can reserve any book. If they are not able to visit the library and issue the book, this reservation process is useful to them. Put the member code who wants to reserve the book, click on enter. The member details will be shown to you. Select the book which he or she wants to reserve. Let's say this particular book the student wants to issue later on. So we will reserve this book by clicking on this button reserve. So this book has been reserved for the student. So whenever you will be issuing this book to any particular student, any another student, you will be getting a message that this book has been reserved. But still you can issue that book. Next is receive newspapers. The subscriptions that we entered, the journals and the newspapers or magazines in the master section will be received here. The newspaper receivables will be done from this form, and the subscription receivables, we have another form, receive serials. First we will see how we can receive any newspaper. All the newspapers entered in the master section will be listed here. Select the one you wish to receive. Click on fill. On each particular day you receive the newspaper, simply click on select the date, and on any particular date if the newspaper didn't arrive, put the cancel reason. So we have given a reason here for not receiving the newspaper for this day, and click on save to submit your receivables. Next is serial receivables. Here select the serial which is received, click on add. All the details of the serial will be given here. Select the date on which you received the serial. You can also select the issue date or publication date. Whether you will be allowing the serial for issue to the staff members or students, or it will not for issue. The students or staff members will come to the library and they will only read it, put it there and leave. Put all the details like ISSN, volume, the cost, accession number if you wish to give it, publication period, and click on add. Similarly, you can add multiple details and click on save. This is how you will be receiving your serials. Next is library Opaque search. The Opaque search allows you to search any item in the library using all these filter options given here. You can search the book by title, you can search the book by item type, item status, author name if you remember, subtitles, book categories, volumes, editions, rack number, accession number if you have with you, ISSN. There are multiple things you can use to filter and search your records. Here we are using the title to search the books. We have received 809 records with the title. You can also export this data in HTML, PDF, Excel and CSV. We will be taking a print here. This is the report generated using Opaque search. Now let's see how Export Plus can be used to generate the reports. You will be selecting the fields of your requirement and in the order in which you require. You can use the options given here as we have used on previous forms, these orientation, page size, margins, alignments, etc. and click on export, then print. So this is the report that has been generated using Export Plus with the selected fields. Moving further in the module comes the reporting part. You can get multiple reports here like dynamic search, member reports, transaction reports, reservation reports, serial receival reports, subscription receival reports, statistics reports, card reports, custom reports and dynamic reports. Let's see how we can generate these reports. First, we will go to the dynamic search and see how this report is generated. In the dynamic report, you will be having the list of the items that are there in the library. We will select one library, we will take one item type and see how we can generate the reports. You can group the data, you can sort the data, you can use these options of serial numbers, orientations, page size, page alignments, column alignments, page margins. Click on export and print. So the report with selected fields has been generated and looks like this. We can also move on to other reports from this list itself. The transaction reports, member reports, reservation reports, slow or fast moving books, the statistics reports. Let's have a look at another reports. Let's see the statistics reports, how it is generated. Use the search options given here. Use the book category. Select the fields. Select the options and click on export and print. You can also give a report title and the template name and click on save, which will be further listed here. Similarly, you can generate the transaction report. Use the filter options. Select the fields like member name, member code, accession number and the book title, the issue date when the book was issued, the submission date when the book has to be submitted, and the actual date on which the book was submitted. What is the status currently of the book? Use another options also. You can save all your selections by giving a template name and click on save. So next time when you visit this report form, you will be having all your listed templates here so that you don't have to make these selections every time you want to generate the report. Use the required options, click on export and click on print. This is the transaction report. Using this form, you can send the SMS to the students and the staff members if the SMS gateway is integrated with you. You can also send the emails. You can also send the notifications to the users. These notifications will be shown here in the ERP. SMS, emails and notifications can be sent to individuals as well as in bulk. Next are the card reports. Card reports are used to generate the barcodes, the spine tags and the accession catalogs, etc. Let's see how we can generate the barcodes. Select the library, accession numbers and the category for which you want to generate the barcode. The list will be listed here. Click on generate and print. These are the barcodes generated for the selected books. You can also generate the spine tags using these card reports. You can generate the accession catalogs also. Next is custom reports. Custom reports are used to generate the no due certificates, fines if the library fine has been taken from any student. You can generate a duplicate receipt using this custom report. If the gate pass has been generated, you can generate a duplicate copy using this custom report. You can generate the no due certificate and many more. This was all about the library module. Thank you.